Our big bills are really primarily focused on safety. We're focused on work zone safety. We're focused on pedestrian safety. That is the primary goal in each of these big bills, is to ensure that we are doing everything that we possibly can around awareness. Today is the 1-year anniversary of the tragic death of Trooper Pelletier, so it is appropriate that we are, in addition to passing some road safety legislation, we are also honoring Trooper Pelletier as well as Andrew DiDomenico, the DOT worker who was killed on our roads last May, I believe. We are honoring them with road namings in addition to some others, but this focus this year has really been on that, mostly on worker safety.
So I heard there was a little scuffling with judiciary over penalties and the things that are normally there. So how was that resolved?
The chair of judiciary actually had some really solid points. He understands what the penalties are, and what we were proposing, what was recommended to us by the DOT, was incongruous with what already exists. And to have a penalty for an accidental death on the side of the road, which is tragic and awful and must be taken seriously, but to have the penalty be the same as if someone intentionally murdered someone in their home is incongruous. So, but we are working with the chair of judiciary together for next session to be able to determine what that could look like.
And the work zone camera program will continue, right?
It will continue. We actually lifted the caps on the number of cameras that the DOT can have. In previous legislation, we limited it to 15. Now that is unlimited. However, they are actually operating at a deficit because it's been such a deterrent. They've hardly issued any tickets.
What are the pedestrian safety measures?
We've got some crosswalk changes. We're expanding the, for any future crosswalks, there are an additional 5 feet where you can park, and just to give more visibility for people who are moving through the space. And we're also just trying to, pedestrian and bike safety as well. We are trying to make sure that more folks are wearing bicycle helmets, and by requiring it up to the age of 18, we're expanding it that way so that we can ensure that the folks who are riding side by side, so many of our distracted drivers, are safer.
What was the reason again you hardly issued any tickets?
Because once you see the sign that says work zone camera, speed camera ahead, you slow down.
Is it state law that when you're crossing you have to signal? It's like Christine was saying that in the Senate. That you have to somehow.
We did that a couple years ago.
It was okay.
When you step into a crosswalk.
Oh, a person is meant to signal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, I mean, is the pushing for more helmets, is that paired with penalties for drivers who hit bicyclists?
There are no penalty increases on that related to that just now. We're looking to encourage folks to protect themselves as much as they can. And again, when we talk with, when we work more directly with the chair of judiciary for next session, we're going to talk about where penalties work, where they don't. I mean, there isn't a lot of proof that the higher the penalties go, the more you deter behavior. So we're trying to really dig down on that and see what really will.
And then
Go ahead, Jamie.
Thank you. The crosswalk safety, I mean, is the idea that you'll do infrastructure with that as well to keep people from parking closer to crosswalks, do raised crosswalks?
So this doesn't address raised crosswalks, but what it does address is the space between where people can park and where the crosswalks are for all future. So if you're repaving, repainting, you'll have to deal with repainting the parking spots farther away, 5 feet away on each side, because when you're stepping out, it's especially with distracted drivers, when you're stepping out into that spot, there sure are. It's just, that is a very specific way of trying to increase awareness around the space.
Have the motorcycle people pushed back in the days since the Senate over the helmets?
No, but this is a very different piece of legislation. This is just for 21 or for under 21. There is ample data that shows that the highest number of crashes and the highest number of fatality in the crash is related to the youngest drivers of motorcycles, riders of motorcycles.
Is there data on bike helmets raising that age to 17 too?
Yes, in other states where they have it up through 17, they have fewer brain injuries and fatalities with bicycles.
We've been fortunate that roadway deaths are down this year compared to where they've been in the last few years. Do you attribute that to anything specific? Is that just luck, or do you think there are certain things that are working?
I mean, the Vision Zero, how deeply we've gone on Vision Zero to try and really drill down on things that work, I do believe is a huge contributor to that rate coming down. I am concerned we are coming into the months that have the highest rates of road fatalities. The summer months are highest, so I'm kind of holding my breath a little bit to see. I'll talk to you in October.
What was the reason why the open container law failed this year?
You know, there's a lot of controversy around that, mostly because folks are afraid that it will target people in their districts. It'll be an excuse to pull people over. It's a tough thing to get done in any state. That currently still has. I think there are only 7 of us left that have it, but that change is a tough one to make because behaviors are behaviors.
And the decision was made early not to go with the lower blood alcohol level, right?
Yes. It was very early in the. It was our first JF meeting, I believe.
And I think you said DOT now has 15 cameras, is that right? And they're
Yes.
going to go to unlimited?
Theoretically, they're allowed to go to unlimited. I mean, we want to ensure that they're not tied to that number if they see that the need is there.
And what do these cameras cost?
It's a great question. I'm not entirely sure.
And this doesn't affect the
The
municipal.
high cost would be difficult if it's unlimited.
Well, that's the thing is I'm not really convinced that they're going to be able to use more than the 15 at this point. But we just didn't want that to be the limitation.
And this doesn't change the municipal authority to do.
It does not. And we want to ensure always, I mean, the good news is that it's not a revenue generator. We never wanted it to be that, and we never wanted any municipality to be able to use that in that manner.